That flips the script entirely. Hustle culture demands that you be an expert at your job, constantly optimizing your workflow. The narrator says, no, I am going to be an expert at ripping a crankbait exactly the way the master, Bill Dance, taught me to.
Yes.
That is where I choose to apply my focus. And there's a unique theological argument happening in the background of these verses, too.
Let's hear it.
He sings, God wouldn't have made these beers I drank so good if I ain't supposed to drank them.
Right.
And then he essentially says the same thing about holding a pretty thing and staying up with her all night.
It is a remarkable justification of worldly pleasures. And it actually echoes ancient Epicurean philosophy.
Really, a country song echoing Epicurus.
Completely. Think about it. In many philosophical or religious traditions, the physical world, the pleasures of food, drink, and romance, are viewed with suspicion.
They're seen as distractions.
Exactly. Distractions from higher intellectual or spiritual pursuits. They are temptations that need to be tightly controlled.
Or denied altogether.
Right. But this narrator takes a completely different track. He argues that the inherent goodness of these things, the taste of the beer, the beauty of the sunset, the joy of romance, is actual proof of their divine endorsement.
It's so deeply pragmatic. It reminds me of people trying to untangle these massive, complex philosophical knots about the meaning of life, and this guy just slices right through it.
Occam's razor applied to leisure.
Yeah. If it is good and it doesn't harm anyone, enjoy it. That is the intention. He explicitly says in the song, I stay trying to live by the book, so I think I'm doing what he thinks I should.
He truly deeply believes this lifestyle of fishing and enjoying a sunset is obedient to a higher calling.
Which is wild when you contrast it with the subdivision.
And that focus brings him profound contentment. When he says, I'm alive and it's a great day, that is a statement of radical gratitude.
It really is.
In a modern economy that literally profits off making us feel inadequate so we will buy more things to keep up with the subdivision,
Simply declaring, I'm alive and it's a great day while sitting on a boat is an act of quiet, powerful rebellion.
he doesn't need external validation. He's opted out of the system that demands he feel bad about himself.
Which is a perfect segue into how he actually interacts with formal institutions,
Yeah.
specifically religion, as outlined in the final verse of the song.
Right, because he's not entirely separate from society.
No. Despite his emphasis on the natural world and these simple pleasures, he doesn't abandon tradition entirely.
He doesn't, but he engages with it strictly on his own terms.
Let me read this final verse, because it is just a masterpiece of capturing a very specific kind of American experience.
Go for it.
He sings, Sunday morning I'll be back pew, slipping in 5 or 10 late, drop a 20 in the plate, and when the preacher's done preaching, I'll be reaching for my baseboat keys. Yay, I'll be headed straight out here, ripping on a crankbait.
What's fascinating here is the mechanics of his religious practice. Let's look at exactly what he is describing.
Okay.
Back pew, slipping in 5 or 10 late. He is showing up, which indicates a respect for tradition and a connection to his community.
He is present?
He's present, but he is actively avoiding the performance of it.
Right. If you are slipping in 5 or 10 minutes late, you are missing the pre-service socializing.
Exactly.
You aren't lingering in the foyer networking with the Joneses or making sure everyone sees you in your Sunday best. You are entirely bypassing the social politics of the institution.
Sitting in the back, arriving slightly late, it shows he is unapologetically himself. He is not aiming for rigid, performative piety.
And dropping a 20 in the plate is such a wonderfully tangible detail.
It is a practical transaction.
Yeah, it's just a folded up bill. It's not a public display of wealth.
He is supporting the institution, paying his dues, acknowledging his role in the community, but he keeps it utterly pragmatic. There is a careful balance here. He respects the designated sacred space of the church, but he refuses to let it consume his identity or restrict his freedom.
And the transition is so abrupt. Literally, the second the sermon is over, when the preacher's done preaching, what is he doing?
He is reaching for my baseboat keys.
He doesn't stick around to gossip. He is out the door and back to the water.
That transition is the key to understanding his entire worldview. For the narrator, there is absolutely no conflict, no cognitive dissonance between sitting in the pew and heading straight out on the baseboat.
Not at all.
He has effectively dissolved the boundary between the sacred and the secular.
They're completely equal in his eyes.
I would actually argue that, based on the emotional weight of the lyrics, the time spent on the boat appreciating the sunset and the water might be even more intensely felt than the time spent in the pew.
Wow, yeah, I can see that.
He views both activities, tithing $20 at church and ripping a crankbait on the lake, as being exactly like God intended. It is a completely flattened hierarchy of what is considered holy.
So what does this all mean? When we zoom out and look at this entire transcript, all these lyrics put together, what are we really walking away with?
It's a big question.
To me, it feels like Jordan Davis's lyrics offer a genuine, highly practical blueprint for a life that actively resists modern burnout.
I agree completely.
We're looking at a philosophy that finds deep, almost divine value in the simplest of routines. It tells us that you don't need to conquer the corporate world or have the best lawn in the subdivision to be successful.
Success can look completely different.
Success can literally be mastering a fishing technique, appreciating a sunset, enjoying a six-pack with someone you care about, and having a pragmatic, unpretentious approach to your Sunday mornings.
It is a profound reminder that we have a choice in how we measure the value of our lives. The source material today challenges us to examine our metrics for success.
Are we using the subdivision's metrics or our own?
Right. If we are measuring our worth by the standards of the subdivision, whatever your personal subdivision happens to be, we will likely always feel exhausted, in debt, and perpetually behind.
The finish line just keeps moving.
But if we measure our worth by our capacity to enjoy the simple, tangible gifts right in front of us, we might find that we are already living an incredibly rich life. I would encourage you, as you go about your week, to try and identify your own crankbait or your own sunset.
I love that.
What are the simple, grounding rituals in your life that help you escape the pressure of the Joneses? Find those things and protect that time fiercely.
Find your crankbait. It doesn't have to be fishing. It could be gardening, baking bread, walking your dog without looking at your phone, or just reading a paperback on the porch.
Whatever it is that pulls you out of the hustle.
Exactly. Whatever puts you right into the present moment.
And as we wrap up our analysis of this source material, I want to leave you with one final, perhaps slightly provocative thought to mull over on your own.
All right, let's hear it.
Throughout this deep dive, we've seen how the narrator equates the enjoyment of simple pleasures with divine intention. He views enjoying a sunset with a six-pack as a divine mandate, one that is just as important, if not more central to his spiritual well-being, as dropping a $20 bill in the church collection plate.
It completely redefines the rules of engagement for meaningful life.
It really does. So my question for you is this. Could it be that our modern, fast-paced society has completely misunderstood what it means to live a truly spiritual life?
Ooh, that's heavy.
We so often equate spiritual fulfillment with either rigid piety and constant self-denial, or, in the secular corporate world, with endless productivity, self-optimization, and achieving milestones.
Hustling for worthiness.
Right. But what if true fulfillment isn't found in any of that? What if the highest form of spiritual living is having the radical audacity to simply sit still, step off the treadmill, and deeply enjoy what is already right in front of you?
Wow, the radical audacity to simply sit still. That is a really powerful question to carry with us. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. It has been such a pleasure unpacking this with you. I hope you take a moment today to take a deep breath, maybe step away from your work for a bit, let the Joneses worry about themselves, and just enjoy your day. We'll catch you next time.